Hey guys, welcome back to the bunker. It's about 11:30 on Wednesday morning, and I decided um, I should read a couple chapters to you. I wanted to let you know I'm not going to be available tomorrow, so I'm going to read 2 chapters today and send it out to you, and then I'm going to read 2 chapters for the weekend. I finally have it mapped out, so there'll be 8 chapters next week and 8 chapters the week after, and then we're done. School will be over on June 1st. So got it all filmed out and ready to go, or thought out and ready to go. So I'm going to read chapters 11 and 12 right now. Now don't forget, Rob met a new lady, the housekeeper, Willie Mae. And Willie Mae said she knows what's wrong with his legs, that he's keeping his sadness down low in his legs, the sadness from his mother passing away, and that he needs to let it rise on up and come up to his heart so he can deal with it. But he thinks she's crazy. She doesn't know how to solve it. So let's read 11 and 12 right now. As soon as I get my pages. Here we go. And fix my glasses. That afternoon, Rob was out in front of the Kentucky Star, weeding between the cracks in the sidewalk when the school bus rumbled up. "Hey!" he heard Norton Threemonger yell. Rob didn't look up. He concentrated on the weeds. "Hey, disease boy!" Norton shouted. "We know what you got. It's called leprosy." "Yeah," Billy shouted. "Leprosy. All of your body parts are going to rot and fall off." "That's right. They're going to rot off," Norman yelled. "Yeah," Billy laughed. "That's what I meant. They're going to rot off. They're going to go and rot all the way off." Rob stared at the sidewalk and imagined the tiger eating Norton and Billy Threemonger and then spitting out their bones. "Hey!" Norton shouted. "Here comes your girlfriend, disease boy." The bus coughed and sputtered and finally roared away. Rob looked up. Sistine was walking toward him. She was wearing a lime green dress today. As she got closer, he could see that it was torn and dirty. "I brought your homework," Sistine said. She held out a red notebook stuffed full of papers. The knuckles on her hand were bleeding. "Thanks," said Rob. He took the notebook. He was determined to say nothing else to Sistine. He was determined to keep his words inside of himself, where they belonged. Sistine stared past him at the motel. It was an ugly 2-story building, squat and small, composed entirely of cement block. The doors of each room were painted a different color, pink or blue or green, and there was a chair, painted in a matching color, sitting in front of each motel door. "Why is this place called the Kentucky Star?" Sistine asked. "'Cause," said Rob. It was the shortest answer he could think of. "Because why?" she asked. Rob sighed. "Because Beauchamp, the man who owns it, he had a horse once, and its name was Kentucky Star." "Well, it's a stupid name for a hotel in Florida." Rob just shrugged. It started to rain. Sistine stood in front of him and continued to stare. She looked at the motel, and then over at the blinking Kentucky Star sign, and then she looked back at Rob, as if it was all a math equation that she was trying to make come out right in her mind. The rain made her hair stick to her scalp. It made her dress droopy. Rob looked at her small, pinched face and her bleeding knuckles and dark eyes, and he felt something inside of him open up. It was the same way he felt when he picked up a piece of wood and started carving it, not knowing what it would be, and then watching it turn into something he recognized. He took a breath. He opened his mouth and let the words fall right out. "I know where there's a tiger." Sistine stood in the drizzly rain and stared at Rob, her eyes black and fierce. She didn't say, "A real one." She didn't say, "Are you crazy?" She didn't say, "You're a big old fat liar." She said one word. "Where?" And Rob knew at that very moment he had picked the exact right person to tell. Chapter 12. "We got to walk through the woods," Rob said. He looked doubtfully at Sistine's bright green dress and shiny black shoes. "You can give me some of your clothes to wear," she told him. "I hate this dress anyway." And so he took her to the motel room, and there Sistine stood and stared at the unmade beds and the tattered recliner. Her eyes moved over his father's gun case, and then went to the macaroni pan from the night before. still sitting on the hot plate. She looked at it all the same way she had looked at the Kentucky Star sign, and the motel, and him, like she was trying to add it all up in her head. Then there was his carvings, the little wooden village of odd things that he had made. He had them on a TV dinner tray beside his bed. "Oh," she said. Her voice sounded different, lighter. "Where did you get those?" She went and bent over the tray and studied the carvings. The blue jay, and the pine tree, and the Kentucky Star sign, and the one that he was particularly proud of, his father's right foot, life-size and accurate right down to the little toe. She picked them up one by one and then placed them back down carefully on the tray. "Where did you get them?" she asked again. "I made them," said Rob. She did not doubt him, as some people would. Instead, she said, "Michelangelo, the man who painted the Sistine ceiling, he sculpted too. You're a sculptor, Rob. You're an artist." "Nah," said Rob. He shook his head. He felt a hot wave of embarrassment and joy roll through him. It lit his rash on fire. He bent and rubbed his hands down his legs, trying to calm them down. When he straightened back up, he saw that Sistine had picked up the carving of herself. He had left it lying on his bed, intending to work on it again that night. He held his breath as she stared at the piece of wood. It looked so much like her, with her skinny legs and small eyes and defiant stance, that he was certain that she would be angry. But once again, Sistine surprised him. "Oh," she said, her voice full of wonder. "It's perfect. It's like looking in a little wooden mirror." She stared at it a minute more and then carefully laid it back on the bed. "Well, give me some clothes, and we'll go see your tiger." He gave her a pair of pants and a t-shirt and left the room and went outside and waited for her to change. It was still raining, but not hard. He looked at the fallen Kentucky Star. He thought for a minute about one of the not wishes he had buried deepest in his suitcase. A friend. He stared at the star and felt the hope and need and fear course through him in a hot neon arc. He just shook his head. "Nah," he said to the Kentucky Star. "Nah." And then he sighed and stuck his legs out into the rain, hoping to cool them off, hoping to get some small amount of relief. Okay, guys, there's going to be 2 more chapters for the weekend. I'll probably put those out Friday or Saturday, and then we'll go back again live on Monday. Again, I'm not doing live tomorrow. I'm not going to be available, so I will catch up with you guys on Monday. All right, guys, I'll talk to you Friday with some work or send you a Coffee with Scurbs video. Peace.